Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is your boy, Jeffrey D. Brower, the Rev. Listen, welcome to this podcast. Let's talk about it. A podcast where everybody is welcome, where we talk about real life situations from a human point of view and a spiritual point of view. So come on, welcome. Thank you for joining me, and I'm so glad that you're here. Listen, we'll go jump right into it real quick. This is something I just wanted to share with you all, my viewers who follow, who tune in. This is a interview of a young lady who's 51 years old, 4 kids, divorced twice. Her dad was a pastor, just like my dad, and she now sells herself on the streets. Listen, I'm gonna tell you why. I can identify with her. No, I wasn't selling my body on the streets, but you'll see where she talks about why she does what she does and why she chose to go back outside of church and what she is, who she is, which is an evangelist, and chose to do and chose something to numb her pain. That's what I can identify with, because she chose selling her body to numb the pain, but I chose drugs to numb my pain and what I was going through. But I'm not going to talk too long, because I want you to watch this interview. And first, let me go ahead and say the video credits belong to Atlanta Street Interviews. I'm sorry. This is solely his video. I don't own it. I'm just sharing it as a testimony with my viewers and my following on my platforms, just so everybody can see it. And plus, I wanted to share why I can identify with her. All right, so hey, we're gonna jump right into it. I want y'all to please, without a judgmental ear or judgmental eyes or a judgmental heart, listen to her and listen to her talk.
Okay, what's your situation?
Just hurt.
Hurt?
Uh-huh.
Who hurt you?
My ex-husbands.
You say husbands with an S, like plural?
I was married
Okay.
twice.
Okay. And so, I mean, what are you doing out here on, on Kendall Road?
We're trying to make a little money to take care of myself.
Okay, so just working?
Yeah.
I get it. How long have you been, kind of working this way,
Well, since I was 25.
Since
Off and on. Yes.
Off and on?
Mm-hmm.
So as far as off and on, so like this latest time that you've been on, how long has it been?
This latest time right here?
Yeah.
About 1 year.
About 1 year?
Mm-hmm.
And so what was it that happened a year ago that caused you to have to come back out here?
Well, my sister was going through counseling, and I lost her this year.
But why did that cause you to have to come back out here on the streets?
I don't want to feel the pain. Don't want to feel the pain. So sometimes I use this to medicate my pain.
And so when you say use this, you're talking about, okay, so are we talking about?
I used to, that's it, and to medicate my hurt.
And so do you have any kids?
I have 3 adults and a teenager.
Okay, the 3 adults, how old are they?
35, 34, and 33.
How many siblings do you have?
It was 6 of us.
6 of y'all?
And 3 unpassed.
Okay. And so, I mean, growing up, would you say that you had like a fairly normal childhood?
Yeah.
So you got married at 15, so it sounds like, is that when you got pregnant?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get married because you were forced to get married, or, how did that come about?
I didn't want my daddy's reputation to be, I got married to cover up my daddy's reputation.
Right, because I mean, back then, it's kind of, right.
When I got pregnant by this young guy, that's when I got back with my guy who had brought me in.
Okay.
And so I told him I was pregnant by such and such.
Right.
And there was no feelings between us. I still had feelings for this guy. So so we got married, although he knew it was someone else's child.
Okay.
So,
and so how was that marriage?
Terrible.
What was so terrible about
Well,
it?
he didn't want to work, and he became abusive.
How long did the first marriage last?
6 months.
Oh, wow. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay. And so then after that, you got with the guy that you have the kids with.
Right.
But you got with him a few years later, basically, is when y'all actually married.
Right.
Okay. And so how was that marriage?
Terrible.
It was terrible too?
Yeah.
Why was that marriage terrible?
Well, he was abusive, didn't want to work, didn't want to support the children, always drinking a lot. He was always going from this house to that house to go stay with the children. He was never stable.
Right.
My mother and father would tell me if I stopped hanging with him because he was doing. I didn't believe that. You know what I'm saying? And my dad would tell me, he said, you keep hanging around that boy, you're going to be doing too. And I didn't see what he saw, but I wish I would have. Listen.
So, I mean, is that like the first time that you did that?
Yes.
Was with him?
Yeah. When you get in the car with someone that you don't know and you don't expect, and they would talk real nice to you, whatever, and before you get in an area that's no one's around, they'll put out a gun on you or put out a knife on you, and they make you out of the car, do what you gotta do, and they'll leave you there. Or they'll walk you to the woods, or they'll walk you to a abandoned building, make you lay down, and stuff like that. So I went through that 23 times. But the first, about 4 guys at one time.
4 guys?
And they did for like hour and a half. I was calling myself going to trade some and when I went to go trade, these guys snatched me up and they pulled me into the projects of Thomasville. And when they pulled me in there, they repeatedly from room to room.
You say from when to when?
From room to room.
From room to room?
Yeah. They said they was gonna kill me when they get finished. But in the process of me doing what I had to do, I was interceding for myself. And I was asking God, send somebody here to help me. I don't want to die like this. And then all of a sudden, a guy came in this empty project, walking up the steps, and he just busted the door. And when he saw me, it just so happened that he knew who I was. This is someone I grew up with and someone that used to eat out from my table when he was little because he didn't have much from his home. My mom and dad would feed him, but he busted the door and he went crazy trying to fight him off, whatever. And they ran down the stairs. And I was real little. I had lost a lot of weight. I was down like 90 pounds because I first started doing. And he picked me up and he carried me to his car and took me home.
Are your parents still living?
My father passed 2013. My mother, she's still living. Yes.
Still living? So, I mean, have you ever tried to stop?
Yes, several times.
I know that's not quite how addiction works, but I'm just asking, like, what have those times been like? Like, what? Paint me the picture of what that looked like.
Well, when I go to jail or whatever, and I'll be saying to myself, I'm gonna try this thing over. And they put me in rehab. Being
in your addiction, you know, at your lowest times, like, what are the lowest amounts that you would be charging out here?
The lowest people have offered me was $5. That's for everything.
What are your plans? Like, are you content living like this? Like, is this like you're good with this or whatever, or do you, want to live differently?
Anybody that's normal don't live a normal life, but this craving, that might become a gorilla. And once that heaviness become a gorilla, it's hard for you to maintain. So you have to do what you got to do to get this monkey off your back. It could be your hurt, it could be resentment, it could be what mama did, what daddy should have done. I mean, it could be a lot of stuff from the residue of the past that causes you to go here because you don't want to deal with it. So you want to face it.
So I mean, what is it that you have? What's the real pain on the inside that you haven't spoken about or that you haven't talked about, that you're running away from?
Well, I always wanted my dad to be proud. I always wanted my dad to be proud of me, and I always wanted to hear it, but I never heard it.
You never heard him say that he was proud of you? Why do you think you never heard that?
Because no one ever told him.
Did he know that you felt that way?
No.
What, if anything, are we doing to try to get ourselves out of this position in life?
Yeah, scream your way out. Gotta praise your way out. Gotta praise your way out.
I mean, you say you was a choir director at one point.
I was licensed evangelist. Motivational speaker. I've tutored people. I've counseled marriages and certain different ones. Even ones I hear, even people I've spoke to out in the streets, they gave up they gave up sin. It's just amazing how God even used me.
Nobody wakes up the next day and says, I want to be a drug addict. Nobody really wakes up and just in their right mind. I'm not saying that you have to be crazy, but um, a lot of times when we choose other escape routes versus going to God about it, that is something that's dealing with our mind, because the devil has a hold of our mind. Let's just put it like that. And I'm not trying to demonize anybody, but what I'm saying is that's influence from another force, not God at all. Because so that nobody wakes up in their right mind. So that's why I say in their right mind. And just says I want to go sell my body because just to be selling it. No, something is going on that caused you to make you want to do that. There's always a root somewhere, and she explained where her root was. Her root came from trying to numb pain, not a physical pain, but a emotional pain that is hard. And I've been there and I've done that, and I have been on the streets of Atlanta, Georgia, high as a kite. I've been down there walking around the city, out of my mind. I had done been doing drugs for days and wake up and have to leave my hotel room and didn't know where I was getting ready to go. And sometimes I had money to get another hotel room, but I would have to leave early in the morning and check out, and then you can't really check in at 3 o'clock. So I'm just walking around the streets of Atlanta, walking around, and yeah. So I've been there, done that. So that's why I have compassion on her, and I'm going to try to find her. I just want to pray with her and let her pray with me and just show love, because first of all, she is still considered a soul. Like she said, she was a licensed evangelist. But unfortunately, sometimes it happens to the best of us, because it happened to me. I went right back into drugs too. When after I preached, started preaching, I relapsed as well. So I got that testimony and I understand. So I just wanted to share just this part, just to, just to encourage somebody else to not to give up. There's so much love and compassion and so much truth and so much sincerity that I see in her and hear from her. You can tell that she really doesn't want to be there. You can tell that she really does love God. You can tell that evangelism really is her calling. You can hear it in her. And those of you who are prophetic, and they can see in the spirit, you can see it on her. And this is people that don't see with a judgmental eye like a lot of us do. But yeah, I see God all through her, and I truly believe that the Lord still has more work for her to do. And I am praying that he cleans her up and gives her another escape route, which is coming back to him, and knowing that you don't have to sell your body to numb pain. You don't have to do that. And I believe the Lord is going to make a way for her. All right, so if I don't know her name, but look at this video, pray for her. Call, say, Lord, bless that lady on that interview that was on Candler Road in Atlanta, Georgia. Whatever, however, God's not crazy. He's not dumb. He's not stupid. He'll know exactly who you're talking about. So pray for her. Also, I'm going to leave the link to this entire, because it's like 20 minutes long. So I'm going to leave the link to this interview in the description, so that you can go and view it for yourself. Also, follow Atlanta Street Interview. They're on YouTube. He does a lot of these interviews, which I think is really good. That people, he respects people and they respect him, and they'll at least tell their story. Everybody has a story, and I feel like everybody should be heard. Yeah. So follow him. Look at the video, share it with others, or whatever the case may be, and just pray for her. All right, so I love y'all. We out of here. Wasn't going to be super long today. We'll come back sometime later on this week with another topic. But just know that I love you. If you're struggling with addiction, if you're struggling with anything of that nature, just know that I love you. Well, God loves you first. I love you, and I am praying for you, and I want to see the best in you, because God already sees it. All right, love you in Jesus.